Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the OCNJ Local, your podcast for everything happening here in America's greatest family resort. We're your hosts, Dominic Doherty and Drew Fazy. Like that.
And we are your local guys.
Drew, you're down the bottom here because you came in late today. Normally, you're here waiting for me, but you were late today, so I don't know if my finger worked out, but we'll have to see. In post here.
You continue your role, Dom.
It's tough. So joining us today is City Council Vice President and one of the three candidates for mayor, Pete Madden. Pete, thanks for taking the time to join us today.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on again.
Yes, and we were recording this in the morning. That's why I said good morning. If you watch it in the afternoon, good afternoon, and in the evening, good evening. So there we go. But
is that the Truman Show? Is that the line from the Truman Show?
Yeah, that's exactly.
There we
go. Good afternoon and good evening.
Nice. Yep. I've never seen that one all the way through. It's definitely one I got to watch though.
So Jim Carrey's great.
Yeah, he is good. He is very good. So Pete, great debate last week. All three candidates did a great job. The Tabernacle was an amazing host.
Agreed.
From a technical standpoint and, kind of being the behind the scenes guy with some of the live streams we do and all that stuff, their system was second to none for sure. So shout out to Tom, who I saw surfing this morning, and Lee and the rest of the staff there for putting on a great event. And, good job for, I think it's Fiedler Press for putting on a good show, having some good moderators and some good questions.
Yeah, it was well done for sure.
Definitely. Not going to lie, we would like to be there next time. So, but you got to give credit where credit's due.
Maybe
you got to be first to market.
Maybe we host the council because they normally, if I remember correctly, there are two debates back to back. It used to be at the Ocean City High School, and it was moderated by David Nahan. I don't know why that didn't occur this year.
Well, I talked to David about that. The OCNJ Daily just got out first, had a big following for it, and he didn't feel like it was necessary to have two, just for the sake of having two.
Makes sense.
But it would have been nice to have a council debate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, where are you coming up with this idea here in the 11th hour, Drew? Where was this idea in April?
I mentioned it to you 6 months ago. You just don't remember.
That's probably true. I will definitely take full credit that I did not remember that at all. But Pete, we know you're busy. We're in the last week, 10 days here of the campaign. Lots of stuff going on. The questions in the debate were good. They sounded kind of similar to me personally. I don't know whether you might have heard them or where you might have answered them before, but there's definitely still some questions out there to be answered, and some questions I think that people in town still have. So, we're gonna bring them to you. We're gonna ask you some of these questions that these guys got. So
yeah, and Dom, you put it out on social media to the public again to get some questions, and some of them are pretty pointed.
Yeah, we got some pretty good feedback there. So thank you to everyone that responded. So I
appreciate you not going easy on me.
Well, it's been a very contested election. It's very different than anyone I remember in my time living here. There's so many different issues that need to be addressed. And, coming from the debate, you guys were all very cordial. You were all very, copacetic with each other. It seems like you guys all kind of have very similar viewpoints. So I guess the goal is really to see, what separates you from Keith and Jay at this point, or the other candidates. Sorry, I don't want to mention people by name if that gets people upset or calls out the haters, because God knows this has been the most negative political campaign I've seen. Or I shouldn't say this. They had not from the people, not from the candidates, but from the supporter standpoint. There's been it's been very different than anything I remember in my eras of Ocean City politics. So,
and I wanted to make that.
That's AI.
I wanted to make that point that not only the three of you, but also the other candidates for council. You're all running a very clean, issues-based campaign. And not only do I appreciate that, but I've said this many times, Ocean City voters, people who live here in the community that actually can vote, do not like negative campaigns.
Agreed.
You know, we've seen this election cycle after election cycle after election cycle. If a candidate goes negative, they're unsuccessful in Ocean City.
I think people are more concerned with what each candidate brings with their own value, not what somebody else doesn't bring, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
100%, 100%. So, you know, I think one of the questions, you know, one of the big proponents, or one of your opponents, I should say, is promising change. The other is promising stability. What's one specific thing where you stand alone between the two of them?
Well, I think that I've been proud to work with the administration over the 12 years that I've been on council, and maintaining really good foundation for what the city has. You could talk about the flood mitigation, the police station that we're doing, the sand that we're bringing into the beach. But when you look at it, maintenance it's not enough. So we need a leader who can really take a strong foundation and build a clear vision for the future. So what I'd like to do is make the town more resilient, a year-round community with expanded tourism options, with revenue opportunities that we bring into town, and we don't put it on the taxpayer. We bring in revenue through the community, through the tourism that we bring into town. So more events, more indoor attractions, better use of our existing departments and the recreational space, and we really bring a lot of new ideas forward. So it's not about changing what we have and what the integrity of Ocean City. It's about leading it into the next generation while protecting what we have.
Well, Pete, that kind of leads us to another question that we got, which is relying on outdoor-centric tourism makes us vulnerable to a rainy weekend or month, as we encountered last June, which negatively affects the income sources like parking and beach tag sales. Do you have any ideas to counter this weather dependency?
So yeah, we can't let weather control us, and we can't use that as an excuse. I mean, the reality is we have solutions. We're just not utilizing them enough. We have the music pier. We have the Moreland Theater. We have the Surf Mall. And we have the schools that are closed on the weekends. And we don't partner enough with those businesses and community things. So we should be having year-round events that we're programming in those different facilities, tournaments, family attractions. And it's about utilizing what we have in order to work with those type of rainy days on inside activities, and working with our recreation, our community our community services department to make sure that we're really having stuff for people when they're here and it does rain.
You could have like a nice little indoor pickleball tournament at the music pier or something.
Absolutely. We take it off the roof of the parking garage and put it inside the music pier.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Well, you know,
I'd like to bring some balance to that, and in terms of, hey, we're not just gonna say, hey, it rained, so sorry, we had a bad June because of a ton of rain. Let's find indoor activities that we can utilize in June and still get people down here. So
yeah, no.
Okay. So again, kind of leading to the next question is, Ocean City is at a crossroads regarding its shore way of life versus modernization. If we were sitting here in 2030 at the end of your first term, what is the most visible thing that would look or feel different about Ocean City because you were in the mayor's office instead of one of your opponents?
So I kind of touched on that, is really the expanded tourism options. I really want to keep an open mind for what we can do in town and take some of our events and expand them, and then bring in a lot of new events. To me, it's, again, I've talked about going back to, it's the people. It's the people who come here to our community, and then it's people within our community. And if we're enabling the people in the city to really think outside the box, own the activities and the events that they're doing, they become way more enthusiastic about what they're doing and how they're doing it. So I think if you look into 2030, I think you're going to see that we're protecting the value and the integrity of what Ocean City is, but leading it into the future with more new ideas. And I need to sit down with the different departments to see what they have. These guys are the boots on the ground doing it every day. My job is really to get the best out of those people so that we're having some unique events and ideas. I'd love to see a parking garage for the downtown to help alleviate some of the parking down there, but allow more people to come and spend time there. And of course, Wonderland. I believe in the hotel. I believe we can do something great up there. So I think those are the main things you'll see in 4 years, after I finish my first term.
I just think it's wild that the end of your first term, the end of whoever's term it is, I should say, will be 2030. Like, that's just crazy. Like, when you said that, Drew, I was like, 2030. Like, wow.
When I read that question, I did the same thing. 2030.
2030. Like, oh man, that's wild.
It is crazy. My youngest kid will be a senior in high school in 2030.
Oof. When I was a kid, going back to the early 2000s. No, I'm just kidding. When I was a kid.
Yeah, a kid, early 2000s. Come on, Drew. You're not fooling anybody.
Thinking about the year 2030,
yeah,
you thought Jetsons, you thought flying cars, you thought conveyor belts for sidewalks, and here we are, a short 4 years away. It's pretty wild.
Yeah,
think about like Dick Tracy and the watch, and now we can actually use a watch like Dick Tracy used it when we were kids. It's pretty wild how time flies. Yeah,
it is.
So on the next question, so we're talking about Wonderland. So again, a good segue here. This is almost like we planned it, which we did. The term rehabilitation zone at 600 Boardwalk has been used by supporters of a hotel as being the best process for the city, while critics of the proposal see it as being the worst process for the city. Can you tell us why you believe the city should give the property owner this designation? And can you also tell us what the critics have wrong?
I think it's tough to say the criticism of it, because I think it's not really criticism. I think it's misinformation. And I think the property, it's been vacant for 2 years now. And if we don't go to a redevelopment zone, then we're looking at an additional 2 years to redo the master plan for the boardwalk. So the alternative, which is the master plan, could take a tremendous amount of time. We don't have it up there. So we need to get something done with Wonderland. It's a unique property with a unique situation in a unique time. So let's treat it that way, give it that redevelopment zone. And it gives us the ability to work directly with the property owner, negotiate, make sure that it's the best thing for Ocean City and keeps Ocean City's character. So the mayor needs to lead that. So it's not just the council's responsibility. It's the mayor and the council working together with the investor of the property to do the right thing for the town. So I want to see a project like the hotel. I want to see it bring people down to the boardwalk, support the businesses down there, create a year-round revenue. We got events, weddings. We can have more of the Battle of the Beach, the football tournament that we have. We can have field hockey tournaments, soccer tournaments, track tournaments. And now there's a hotel right there for people to stay. So some critics might call it a shortcut, but I think it actually gives the city more control, not less control, without wasting time getting there.
So as a follow-up, if you don't mind, Pete, one of the things that I hear on social media, so I don't necessarily believe it.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, is that if 600 Boardwalk goes into a rehabilitation zone and a project is approved and agreed upon and move forward, that the property owner would get a tax abatement for a number of years, 10 years, I think is what has been thrown out there. Is that accurate, or is that a false flag?
There are possibilities with rehabilitation and redevelopment zones where the investor or developer can get some tax abatements. In this case, the property owner has made it clear that he's not looking for that. He's actually looking to pay the full freight, which could bring in upwards of $1 million plus per year for that specific property once he invests over $100 million into that site. So I think it's a great tax revenue source for the city.
So that's just one of those things that people that are opposed to the hotel project are throwing out there in order to turn public sentiment against that project.
Correct. It's one of those things. If you don't listen to the news, you're uninformed. If you listen to the news and social media, you're misinformed. And the reality of it is that the property owner does want to pay the full tax, has acknowledged that, has said that, and I believe it. And that's something we'll negotiate from a standpoint of staying strong on the city's end. The mayor, city council will negotiate with the property owner to make sure that we get our share on the taxes.
Great use of that Denzel Washington quote, by the way. I love it.
We have the same TikTok feed, Drew. You
know. So, but not just a hotel, right? I mean, would the city? My understanding is that everybody across the board, hotel or no hotel, wants entertainment. Broad umbrella of entertainment. From your viewpoint, is that entertainment a priority?
100%. Absolutely. So to me, boardwalk retail, keeping the integrity of what Ocean City's boardwalk is and having that boardwalk retail is important. Then getting into the resort, having the entertainment from a ride standpoint, which he's already said he'll do. Inside, having an event center, having a restaurant. He's talked about possibly even putting a bowling alley in there. So there's all kinds of options. We need to get to the table to talk to him and to negotiate with him to make sure that we can see those options to reality and to get in there. It'd be nice for America's greatest family resort to have a first-class resort in our town.
So are you saying that you if you become mayor and city council would make that a condition of whatever size hotel will go there?
Absolutely. It's, to me, there's multiple components to this resort. And again, it's the retail, it's the entertainment, it's the hotel piece of it. And it's going to be all encompassing. It's going to keep the integrity of what the boardwalk is, what Ocean City is, and now give a new, resort for people to stay at with a proven brand. And to your point, when you talk about the mayor and city council, my father used to have a sign on his desk that said the buck stops here. As mayor, that's where the buck stops. And I remember asking him what it meant. And he said that I'm responsible for the problems. I'm responsible for the good, but I have to deliver it and give it out to everybody else. But the bad, I have to take ownership of. So to me as mayor, the buck stops with me. I have to work with city council and work with the developer. I have to help direct and lead. And it's all part of the process, which I'm looking forward to.
That's good to hear. That's again, one of those things that's been put out there that, it's going to be a hotel and that won't be a draw to that end of the boardwalk. So, me personally, and I think most people, if not all people, really want that entertainment aspect to that property.
Yeah, for sure. I mentioned at the debate, I said success leaves clues. And I think Congress Hall is a great example of that. Congress Hall is a thriving year-round resort event space for people to come to. And people will come down just to see what they're setting up for Christmas and take some pictures and do things like that. This is going to be the same type of concept where we have that attraction at that end of the boardwalk to really bring people down all year round.
We did dinner in an igloo outside at Congress Hall at Christmas. That was really cool.
Absolutely. People go down, and that Christmas parade's unbelievable. It's like a 3-hour parade.
So, kind of staying on the topic of this redevelopment zone and what's going on down there, a lot has been made about the various relationships between the owner of 600 Boardwalk, Eustace Mita, city officials, and other business owners. What's your relationship with Mr. Mita?
My relationship with him, he's an investor that I work with, and I've worked with in real estate. it's a business relationship, and I'm not quite as close as the current mayor is to the situation. So maybe it's easier for me to be able to, confidently say the mayor and council will be negotiating with him. But I do have a relationship with him from a business standpoint, and I look forward to working with him. The dealings I've had with him have been all very good in real estate, and again, I expect nothing less with the hotel.
Awesome. Interesting. Because there's definitely a lot of stuff out there that says otherwise. So I appreciate you taking the time to clarify that and answering that tough question. So
again, I think there's people out there that I always call it the Cindy Crawford effect, right? Cindy Crawford was a beautiful model, right? Everything about her was beautiful, but she had that little mole on her face, right? So the people on social media are attracted to the mole as opposed to attracted to the.
That was her brand, though. That was her whole thing. That was her image. Pepsi Clear, baby. See, I can go back a little bit, not quite as far as you, Drew, but just a little bit. So
Dom and I read about this in the history books, Drew.
The ones that I was a part of.
Right, the ones you lived. Well, Pete, I appreciate you taking the time to join us today. Is there anything you want to say to kind of wrap it up as we head into the last week of the campaign?
Really,
wow, I can't believe it.
Week?
Yeah, I can't believe it's the last week already. Time flies when you're having fun, right?
It's absolutely. Yeah. It's flown by the whole campaign, and it's great to see that it's going to be wrapping up, and I'm looking forward to earning, and I hope I have over these past about 2 months that I've been running. I've earned everybody's vote, their respect, and they're hopefully looking forward to me leading Ocean City for the next 4 years, and I'd be honored to do that. I'm very grateful for all the good people that I've talked to that are really excited about change, excited about me stepping into that role from the city council role, and I just look forward to the opportunity. I'm very grateful for it.
Awesome. Well, don't forget, everybody, polls open at 6 a.m. on Tuesday, May 2nd. They close at 8 p.m. So make sure you get out. Make sure you vote. What'd I say, May 2nd?
May 12th.
I did.
May 12th.
So, whoa.
I'm
Rewind. Sorry, May 12th. May 2nd is
tomorrow.
Block party. May 2nd is block party. Our Creative Kids Network. That's why that date's in here.
Creative Kids Market is on my brain. I'm actually thinking like, I got to go put together all those swag bags for the kids. So I apologize. Let me start.
No, Dom, I'm with you. Vote early and often.
You can mail your ballot in. Apparently they're out there. So let me start over. Don't forget to vote Tuesday, May 12th. Polls open at 6 a.m. They close at 8 p.m. Get out. This is your chance to let your voice be heard. So Pete, again, thanks for joining us. We wish you the best of luck. And we'll talk to you again soon, I'm sure.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Pete.
All right,
Appreciate it.
Take care. All right, see you.
Peace.